I want to give a trigger warning because I am going to be talking about horrific child abuse. But right here we have 33-year-old Vincent DiStasi, and he pled guilty in June of 2025 to causing extensive brain damage and other injuries to his infant son. He pled guilty on June 2nd, 2025, and in January of 2026, he was sentenced to 17 years in prison and 5 years post-release supervision. Nassau County District Attorney said the following: Vincent DiStasi's sadistic and repeated abuse of his tiny infant son was barbaric and forever changed the course of the child's life. DiStasi viciously shook, smacked, and smothered the baby from the moment he came home from the hospital, and 5 weeks later, that abuse sent the child back to the doctors, this time in the emergency room, with life-threatening injuries to his brain. There are truly no words to describe the horror of this defendant's actions. A man so violent he could beat up a 5-week-old baby again and again without remorse. His son, who's now 2 years old, is struggling to meet the milestones of an infant, unable to sit unsupported or speak. DiStasi will spend nearly 2 decades in prison for his abuse, and he deserves every second of that time for robbing his son of the future the child should have known. DA Donnelly said that on January 21st, 2024, at approximately 3:30 p.m., the 5-week-old son of the defendant, Vincent DiStasi, was rushed to Stony Brook University Hospital unresponsive and required emergency brain surgery. Doctors later determined the child suffered from multiple injuries, including rib fractures, fractures to both arms, and subdermal hematoma to his brain, along with other acute injuries. The infant's injuries were in various stages of healing, indicating that the child had suffered prolonged abuse. As a part of the criminal investigation, ring footage was secured from the DiStasi home that recorded the family's living room. Review of the footage showed the defendant abusing the infant throughout the first 5 weeks of his life. The video showed the defendant tossing, punching, smacking, and smothering the child over the course of those weeks. This is so disturbing. If you've ever held a 5-week-old baby, it's unthinkable how somebody could do this to such a helpless little being, and to think that the trauma and horrific nature that this, I can't even wrap my head around it.